Hello, everybody, and welcome to my studio. My name is Gideon. I'm also known as Gideon's Light, and I'm your creatively fit coach, right? Welcome to another episode of The Creative Heart. And this week, I'm just using my prompt system to just play a little bit in my art journal as I'm still on the journey of abstraction. I must say today is a public holiday here in South Africa, and I really just wanted to spend the day lounging on the couch and just taking a bit of a rest. But after I saw the prompt for today, I was like, I have to go to the studio and apply this in my art journal and share it with everyone because it's so much fun. It's definitely one of my favorite methods to just play or to create interesting abstract art. So I will show you exactly how I do that by using a viewfinder. I created this little abstraction of a landscape. So that can be a lot of fun. But while I have you here, as you can see in the background, there are water lilies and lotuses to be seen all around because the month of May is going to be my lotus focus month. That rhymes unexpectedly on my Patreon. So if you want to paint lotuses or you into water lilies or that kind of water scene, then this month on my Patreon is definitely the month for you. You can of course join for free and have a few glimpses into what I have to offer, or you can dive deep for only $5 a month. I mean, really, it's a total steal. There will be plenty of material that you can dive into. In fact, I'm currently filming this beautiful painting here behind me. It's just going to be a lovely sunset on a lotus pond. The lotus is still to appear. So that will be an entire class in acrylic painting. And then I will also be doing, a water lily of some sort for my creative heart group, maybe on a live. And then there's also the creative coaching session that is a bonus material that is available from my archive only for my Patreons. And I do encourage you because the theme really dives a bit deeper than just lotuses and water lilies, as we'll be dealing with no mud, no lotus. So this really helps to build some resilience within yourself, go through some personal growth, and just recognize that life sometimes do give us some mud. But if we use that mud to grow and develop our personal selves, then we become better people than we were yesterday, right? So anyway, with that said, do look at the links in the description of this video because there's links for you to use to join my Patreon and also my Creative Heart group, which is my private art group where I support my patrons and my friends and my tribe. So use the links below. Give me a second. I'm going to turn the camera around and we'll dive into the medium of gouache. Hi, you guys, and welcome to this session. It is going to be a lot of fun today because as I settle into my spot, we are going to be trying something new. So before we start, I decide always to just light a candle and just set a beautiful intention. And I'm just thinking of everyone today that is maybe feeling lonely or disconnected in any way, shape, or form. And maybe you feel like you're the only one in the world and that you are invisible and no one can see you. I'm reaching out to you today and just sending you some love and light, and just to remind you that you are never alone. Reach out to someone and you will find that there will always be a friend, and may there always be a light shining for you guys when you feel like that. Awesome. So on this public holiday, I actually didn't really feel like making a video today. Actually, I thought I was at the end of my prompt list for this abstraction. And then today, when I looked at what is going on with my prompts and where we are, just for interest sake, I discovered one of my favorite ways of doing an abstract painting was the prompt for today. So immediately that sparked inspiration for me again. And I just, can't help myself. Here I am. Let's paint. At the same time, it seems like I do want to challenge myself a little bit more. I'm going to try a new medium today. I have worked with gouache before, and quite successfully, and it is actually quite a nice medium. It's also a watercolor, and the only difference between normal watercolor that you know and gouache is basically the opacity. General watercolor is translucent in general, and gouache is opaque. They are both water activated and can be lifted again afterwards when it's dried, like watercolor. So there is a variety of gouache mediums out there. Now there's also a gouache acrylic that completely dries water fast once it's dried. But this is just the traditional kind of gouache that I've got here, student level, entry level. It's not good quality, but it is just a great way to get into it. So I've got this lying around in my studio, and I thought today, well, let me show you guys one of my favorite creative exercises. In fact, you can base your entire creative practice just on this principle that I want to share with you guys today. And that is, to find inspiration. Sometimes for some of us, it's a little bit harder than for other artists, especially if you don't have a traditional training in art. It can sometimes be challenging to find new material or new ways to expand and grow in your art. And I want to share one with you today. So I'm going to use this little coffee book of mine. Let me just show you guys. It is Asian Art, the World's Greatest Art. And this is by Flame Tree Publishing. It is a book all about Asian art in all its shapes and forms. There's beautiful images in here, from paintings to pottery, ceramics, and so forth. So I thought today I want to show you guys how you can use any painting or photograph that you have, and you can basically create a viewfinder out of two pieces of paper that you've cut in an angular fashion like this. And all you're going to do is you're going to just use this like a viewfinder. You can do this very professionally with mounting boards, but I mean, if you don't have that available, then just use two pieces of paper. And what I want you to recognize now is that you can hover over any painting and start small and find interesting areas that you think is beautiful, that draws your eye, and that can be an entire painting right there, with zooming in on that particular lines and colors. So depending on how you want to open up your viewfinder, you can hover around your painting or your photograph that you have and find an interesting composition by opening and closing your viewfinder and sort of moving it until you sort of click like, oh my word, that would be beautiful all on its own by itself. So that way you are drawing inspiration from a photograph or even another person's artwork, but you are not copying it. You're basically just using a section of it as inspiration. And, to sort of take it from there, we're going to represent that in an abstract kind of way anyway. So it's quite interesting to see how many little pictures you can find in another person's photograph or artwork that you find beautiful and inspirational. I quite like that sort of movement there, very organic. That is a beautiful composition. There's a beautiful flow. I think I might look into that. Oh, here is beautiful lotus flowers. Oh my gosh. Actually, next month, lotus flowers is going to be the focus on my Patreon. So I might even draw inspiration from this little corner of this painting. It's absolutely beautiful. I think this is a tapestry, actually, now that I look closer. But coming back to this beautiful piece here, I did quite like the lines. It's got a bit of a landscape feeling, and I quite like um, how this sort of translates into this little, what should we call it, viewfinder here. And I'm just making a beautiful landscape out of, another painting, and that is beautiful. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab a piece of masking tape here, and I'm just going to type this into the book, and this is now going to be my reference material for this painting session. So I'm not going to give a massive tutorial on gouache. It's pretty much going to be an experiment for me as much as it is for you to view this. So I'm gonna just rest my brain today and enjoy my creative practice as a moment of, regeneration and just charging my personal reserves of resilience and creativity. So today, this will truly be my creative practice because I feel the need for a bit of a, healing moment. What shall we call it? A nice moment of rest. I think that's what I want to call it. Yes, I quite like that positioning there. So I'm just going to type this right into my book so that my viewfinder doesn't move. And now I have a composition that I can use for my creative exercise as I dive into the world of gouache. But before I let you go, what I will do is I will quickly do a bit of a sketch And there we have it. This was so much fun to use just a little piece of another work of art to inspire a page in my art journal. This was just a very interesting abstraction exercise, and it was done mostly with gouache. It was a unique experience. I think I must definitely upgrade my gouache to a more professional standard, or at least like a higher level than these ones, because I found that most of these colors are very brown and muddy, and it it is a learning curve in gouache, because if you apply your gouache too thick from the beginning, then you might find that if you add too much water later, that you are activating pigments on the underneath. So that is something to keep in mind. But it was a lot of fun, and I think I really relaxed today and just enjoyed creating art for the sake of having a creative practice and just having a bit of a mental holiday. So I hope you are inspired to create a page in your art journal as well. Do take a photograph, just use your section viewfinder and find an interesting passage in art that speaks to you and try to render that in your art journal. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week again for another episode. Remember to hit that subscribe button and the like button. I'll see you guys again next week. So stay creative. Bye bye for now.